Coming up, the largest land predator in history versus the largest land mammal of today. Today on Versus, we're going to explore if dinosaurs were truly strong enough to take down modern day animals by battling a Tyrannosaurus Rex versus an elephant. I originally thought this was going to be an easy fight for the T-Rex, but African elephants have been shown to be aggressive, strong, and most importantly, very smart. Forget the research for a second, let's dive right into the first fight. Our T-Rex competitor is hungry, and it sees its next meal, a several ton, pretty tall African elephant waiting. The T-Rex squares itself up and starts sprinting, actually do T-Rexes sprint? Lightly jogging towards the elephant. The elephant in response puts its head down low to get its tusks ready, or lifts its head high to bring down its trunk. The T-Rex smashes into the elephant, and as they first clash, okay, I'm gonna stop right there. That was pretty embarrassing. There's no way I can do a fight right now without knowing more about our competitors. So let's do a little bit of research and see just how dangerous both of them can be. Tyrannosaurus Rex. 50 feet long, 20 feet tall, and weighing over 15 tons. There is a reason we call our first challenger the Tyrant Lizard King. Living during the late Cretaceous period, the T-Rex was the apex predator for a reason, or should I say 60 reasons. Their bite is estimated to be the strongest bite for a land animal ever. For a single tooth, this reptile could push out over 55,000 newtons of pressure. That's the equivalent of 5 cars pushing down on you. Now, imagine that with teeth the size of daggers. I don't know about you, but I just kind of got the shivers. Goosebumps on my arms. T-Rexes didn't just have a pretty smile though. Scientists suggest that with eyes the size of a softball, a T-Rex could distinguish an object almost 5 times more precisely than a falcon, and almost 13 times better than us humans. There's even a high probability that it could see ultraviolet light, meaning T-Rexes could be the ultimate nocturnal hunters. This lines up with the top theory of how T-Rexes hunted, the puncture and pull method. By hiding in bushes, the T-Rex would find smaller prey, then pounce, biting their prey and dragging them into the bushes, never to be seen again. It's terrifying to think that something as tall as a giraffe could ambush anything. But could it hope to ambush our challenger, the elephant? At over 13 feet tall, weighing over 7 tons, and a brain nearly 4 times larger than humans, it's the competitor that never forgets, the African elephant. Living all across Africa, the elephant is one of history's most intelligent creatures on the planet. If you had any doubt, just look at these guys painting. It's basically way better than anything I could do. No joke, I actually kind of tried on this one, which makes defeat feel so much worse. Elephants are immensely intelligent. Scientists have found that any tricks or tactics used by predators to prey on young elephants almost never work a second time. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, you're living in a fantasy. But they are not just a pretty brain. Elephants have been shown to be extremely protective and aggressive against any predators, including lions and hyenas, using their tusks and trunks to smash, strike, and pierce. Any predator would have to be crazy to try and hunt a fully grown elephant. What really makes elephants impressive though is their sense of hearing, being able to hear infrasound and low sounds from miles away. Unfortunately, their eyesight is not as good. Most elephants use their trunk to navigate more than their eyesight. In fact, there was a group of elephants that followed a blind elephant leader for years with no adverse effects to their leadership. I guess the blind leading the blind kind of does have its benefits. So that's it. We got enough information ready for the fight? Not quite. We're only scratching the surface here. First, we need to know a little bit more about our competitors through the lightning round, where we'll test their speed, strength, and how well they work together in a team. Whoever wins the lightning round will give us a clear picture of who's at advantage, which leads right into our collection of versus fights, crowning our winner. So let's get right into the action. The lightning rounds. Strength. We've already determined that a T-Rex's bite is the strongest out there on land. I'm not messing with those crazy people from the sea. I mean, Jesus. But what about raw strength? Well, the Tyrannosaurus Rex had to lift over 15 tons of pure muscles on just 2 legs, which means these legs are powerhouses. Imagine being able to lift 15 tons with just your legs. You'd be able to carry 7 giraffes on your back with no issue. Well, maybe issue for your back, but that's not all. Their tiny arms actually had use besides being hilarious looking. Scientists hypothesized that these arms would grab and hold down large, struggling prey, being able to hold down hundreds of pounds of thrashing muscles with essentially 2 twigs. You add this on top of their massive bite force, and the T-Rex seems unstoppable. But our African elephant is no slouch, able to lift over 13,000 pounds like it was nothing. Seriously, tourists in Kenya witnessed a mother elephant lifting an entire Cape buffalo several feet in the air with just its trunk. With over 40,000 muscles in the trunk alone, just imagine what an elephant could carry on their back. It's why elephants were chosen for wars and invasions hundreds of years ago, before we realized war was pretty bad for most people, especially elephants. Being the largest land mammal today means that you have the size and strength to back it up. However, it's just not enough compared to the absolute unit that is the T-Rex. Bite strength alone would make the T-Rex win this category, but the added size and strength of its arms and legs makes this choice a no-brainer. Winner, T-Rex. But strength isn't found alone. In this next category, we're finding out which competitor has the best support system. Group dynamics. Before we begin, we need to answer the question, did T-Rexes actually live together? Well, the top hypothesis has been that T-Rexes are solitary, or I guess were solitary. But a recent study of one of T-Rex's closest relatives, the Albertosaurus, have been found to live and hunt together when previously they thought they didn't. Now, I know Albertosauruses aren't T-Rexes, but for the sake of this lightning round, it might just be the evidence that we could use to see if T-Rexes could work together. Also, let's just kind of go for it. If T-Rexes were to work together, they would definitely have a tough time. The relationship between the size of a T-Rex's skull and brain is around the same proportion as chickens or pigeons. So a lot of scientists believe that any working together would be uncoordinated and cause more issues than solve. Add in their gigantic size, and suddenly a troop of T-Rexes going through the forest is pretty antithetical to their hunting strategy of ambushing. Elephants, however, are one of the most social creatures on the planet. They've been shown to give hugs to their loved ones, with one of their main activities being to help and protect their herd, especially the younger ones. Elephants have a deep communication system that allows others in the troop to understand intentions, warnings, and even desires of other members. Elephants have been shown to even grieve when one of them dies, which is just such a heartbreaking fact. Why did I learn that? It's so sad. I think you can guess which one of our challengers would win this category. Is this category a gimme for elephants? I mean, not technically, because moving on. Winner, elephant. Which brings us to our final lightning round. Which competitor can outrace Usain Bolt? It's neither of them. Usain Bolt is very, very fast, but we're determining speed. Speed. I somehow stumbled upon a pretty heated debate in the paleontologist community. Can T-Rexes run? With how T-Rexes are structured with long, thick legs, biomechanical experts are stuck on a question. If a T-Rex were to run, would they move kind of like an ostrich or like a giraffe? See, ostriches can run very, very quickly, while giraffes, well, they're quite limited. Well, through a lot more research, I found that one thing is kind of certain. If T-Rexes were to push themselves and actually try and sprint, their skeletons most likely couldn't withstand the pressure from their muscles, resulting in broken legs or much worse. So scientists estimate that T-Rexes could only move at a maximum speed of around 10 miles per hour, or that's about as fast as an average human runner. Elephants are kind of in the same category. With their massive size, they have a hard time picking up speed. It's the main reason why elephants can't jump. Due to how big they are, they need to have a leg on the ground at all times to stabilize themselves, which means when they run, they're heavily restricted, and yet somehow can reach up to 25 miles per hour sprinting. Now, that is fast for a big boy, which means our elephant sneaks out the win for our final lightning round, and yet somehow is still not faster than Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt is just that fast. Were you surprised by how quick the elephant was? Winner, elephant. Our elephant competitor has won the lightning round, but is that enough? We'll find out in our first fight, pitting the two challengers in a straight fight, no complications, and then we'll add complications to the fight. Mostly because it'll give us more chances to see both competitors shine. Also, it's just cool to do more fights for versus. That's what I'm here for, aren't you? Anyway, who do you think will win the first one-on-one battle? It's time for the first fight. A true 1v1, a basic arena, no complications, no help, no environmental hazards. Just pure kaiju chaos. And I'm diving right in. The T-Rex has been waiting for this fight. Although the elephant is making itself look imposing with its tusks high and its loud trumpeting warning call, the T-Rex has fought much more dangerous prey than this. But this elephant isn't going down without a fight. The T-Rex charges in, 15,000 pounds, literally causing this arena to shake, its jaw agape, showing those massive dagger-like teeth. The elephant knows it only has one chance and charges right back, throwing its weight forward to match the T-Rex. The T-Rex goes for the bite, but the elephant strikes at its jaw, pushing the T-Rex back with its tusks. The T-Rex, stunned by the power of this elephant, turns and roars. The elephant charges once again, trunk and tusks flailing towards this T-Rex, but this prehistoric reptile is ready. It bites one of the elephant's tusks, pushing down over 55,000 newtons of force onto our poor elephant, crushing it in a single bite. That's the bite force of a true apex predator. The elephant, shocked and hurt, backs away, but it has nowhere to go. The T-Rex charges again. With its weak belly exposed, the T-Rex slowly crouches down, arms digging and pinning the elephant, and that's it. The elephant's biggest success in the modern world is because of its size. You match it against a predator that is heavier, stronger, and just overall bigger, suddenly the elephant's main defense becomes an issue. And it's the main reason why the T-Rex takes our first match. Winner, T-Rex. But that's an unfair fight, right? What if the elephant and T-Rex were the same size? Wouldn't the elephant want to fight with its herd rather than alone? Well, I've got 3 more fights to crown the winner of this versus episode, and you definitely don't want to miss them because they get kind of crazy, mostly because I just wanted it to get crazy and it's cool to see these fights. Throughout this video, the AI has been making the T-Rex and elephant around the same size because, well, AI has a really hard time understanding just how big T-Rexes were. So for this category, we're gonna make the battle much like the AI. What if they actually were the same size? Let's see what happens. Comparative size. This truly is the battle of the giants. With over 30 tons collectively of pure muscle walking around this arena, it's anyone's time to shine, which means the first move could determine the winner in a flash. The T-Rex rushes, it's 10 miles an hour, towards the elephant, keeping its head low and looking to unbalance this Goliath. But the elephant is sinking down like an anchor, tusks out and trunk ready. The T-Rex gets closer, but the elephant rushes forward at the last moment, smacking the T-Rex in the leg. Its tusk feels the heat of blood as it pierces into the T-Rex, unbalancing it and pushing him to the ground. But the wound is too shallow. The T-Rex uses its massive tail and surprisingly strong arms to push itself up, roaring out of frustration. Folks, this is rare. T-Rexes would have a very hard time getting up, and yet here it is, ready to fight. Again, the T-Rex charges in as the elephant swings its massive trunk towards the T-Rex. Ooh, oh no. The T-Rex has got the elephant by the trunk and is yanking to pull the elephant in. The elephant tips forward, focusing on balance more than anything else, but that might be its literal downfall. The T-Rex lifts up, bringing its teeth and arms onto the head of the elephant to crush it into the ground. The elephant falls, and before it can make another sound, the T-Rex finishes the job. Even with a similar size, the elephant just doesn't have the expertise in fighting against a giant predator, unlike the T-Rex. It's able to use its size to defend and possibly deter, but in a battle show like Versus, it's just no hope for our gentle giant. Winner, T-Rex. Moving on to the next round, we're seeing if a herd of elephants can survive against a group of T-Rexes, or if it would just end in a bigger bloodbath. Let's find out. Group fight. The herd of elephants walks into an open clearing, ready to start their long journey for food and shelter, but luck is not on their side. On the other side of the clearing, a troop of T-Rexes bursts out, looking hungry and seeing a buffet of elephants. The T-Rexes run, jog, lightly walk towards the elephants, looking for any weakness. But the elephants are ready. The younger elephants huddle together as their larger mothers and male elephants surround them. They know that working together and using their combined strength is the only way they can survive this. Whoa, okay. AI really wanted to give these elephants really sharp teeth for some reason. So if I have to see this nightmare fuel, so do you. Anyway, back to the fight. The T-Rexes have now reached the elephants and are looking for any opening. One of the T-Rexes charges towards the elephant fortress, but the elephants have surrounded the incoming T-Rex. Using their tusks and trunks, the elephants strike, bash, and pierce this T-Rex with a non-stop onslaught. The other T-Rexes are shocked by their coordination, watching in horror as their T-Rex companion stops moving. The other T-Rexes are at a loss. What was once an easy victory is now a battle of endurance and coordination, something these T-Rexes don't have the experience to deal with. One by one, the T-Rexes are pushed back, unable to get a single opening. The elephants let out a triumphant trumpet as the T-Rexes back off, forced to look for food in another area. T-Rexes are a terrifying force, but with tiny brains and no coordination, especially compared to elephants, they would have an extremely hard time breaking through. It really is the elephant's trump card, and it's why they are able to win their very first round. Winner, elephant. We are now on to our final round, and the elephant needs to come out on top to have any chance of winning. So we're keeping it nice and simple, putting our two challengers in a realistic environment and letting nature choose. Realistic environment. The elephant is walking through this dense forest, excited to see the vast amount of vegetation the Cretaceous period has to offer. To the elephant, it just means more food. For our T-Rex competitor, it's the perfect hiding spot. As the elephant strolls ahead, it uses its trunk to explore, unaware that it's been stalked for several miles. The T-Rex has spotted the elephant and, using its highly advanced vision, has been tracking its unsuspecting prey through this dense forest. The elephant walks into a small clearing when it suddenly stops. The forest is silent. Too silent, but it's too late. The T-Rex charges in from behind and grabs the elephant by the leg. The elephant slams to the ground, shocked that something, anything, could take it down in a single swift movement. The T-Rex pulls the elephant into the bush, and I can't do it. I can't go into that bush. I don't want to see what's happening, folks. Sometimes it's just better for nature to do its thing. Unfortunately for our elephant competitor, it doesn't have any natural predators in modern day that could match the power of the T-Rex. This means that the T-Rex's hunting technique of ambushing and pushing its prey to the ground would work very well against the elephant, especially because if it falls down, that's it. Which means our winner is the T-Rex, both for this round and in totality of this Versus episode. We have our winner of the Versus episode, the T-Rex. The elephant is a massive, intimidating animal, but back in the Cretaceous period, it would really have to adapt if it wants any chance at survival, especially against a T-Rex. Now, the elephant may have lost the Versus battle, but it won the most important battle of all. It's not extinct. That is nature's true victor. But maybe I'm wrong. Let me know down in the comments who you think the real winner is. Or if you want to see an elephant versus a lion, a T-Rex versus a mammoth, or maybe just a Spinosaurus versus a T-Rex, check out those episodes right now on Versus. And don't forget to subscribe.